What I didn't know is that I forgot to turn on the music. Where were we anyway? I need to... Oh, it's a lot louder now. It's like one volume up, but like I said, this thing's so goddamn mismixed. Shit, I don't want you to see that. I mean, what is there to see, really? This is just the fucking inspector. At most you see that I have app lock, I guess. Accessibility? What is this about? What is it? Oh. You can put your accessibility... Oh, that's neat. Storage. I got cookies. Won't be upset if you saw my cookies, though. What do we have? Grid, CSS, we've got padding. Oh, boy. What's this error message about? What's with the error? Empty string passed to get element ID. Who did that? Oh no, there's more. There's a cookie. Oh, that's not good. You got a fucking cross... Oh, Jesus. Why do you have cross-site scripting going on, buddy? What the hell? Guitar and on, dodgy. Oh, I see. No, that's not a big problem. Yeah, there's like a picture at the bottom, and I guess the picture... some weird stuff to happen with the cookies, which isn't good. I'm glad that my browser says, no, don't do that. That's naughty. That's hacking. That's a bad, I mean, it's probably not malicious. Let's not pretend that it's malicious in any way, shape, or form. Safi, you're supposed to press Control Shift, and they do this, and they do this, and they do that, and they do that, and they do bada boom, bada bing. And I'm gonna do something really clever because I'm really smart and I know what the fuck I'm doing. Wait, isn't this the chapter I was... Yeah, oh shit. Wrong chapter, Safi. It's chapter 17 we're in. 2017. Now we get to do the corrections. Cool. I'm gonna make sure there's no pictures in there. But there's pictures in there. I'm gonna take this, and then I gotta do some of that, and then some of that, and then some of that, and then ooh. Presto fixo. There are no pictures. I would have cut them out if they weren't there, because I know the magic. The concept of love. Understand, 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 understand. I can't understand you, sir. Oh, I just fucking remembered. So, how do I explain this? In SpongeBob SquarePants, I think it's the pizza episode. Oh, I'll explain this when I get in the stream. But there's something that I just remembered, and I just think I remembered what he said. I don't know the specifics, but I remember close enough that my brain is like, Safi, you have to talk about this. You got it, man. There are no take-backsies. There are no take-backsies in this magical world. I'm gonna accidentally jump to a fucking... But I forgot the specifics. What were they? Oh, okay, so... I don't know why I'm so obsessed about this. Why my brain is like, this is important, Safi. You have to figure this out. I guess I'm made of cheese. Alright, let's not beat around the proverbial bush. So, I just remembered, in SpongeBob SquarePants, there's an episode, okay? There's an episode where they do pizza deliveries, and in where I live, they did a dub. They did a dub of it all. And I think the way that at some point there's a guy who's like, I want my Coca-Cola, you know. He wants his. I think it's Dr. Kelp or something. I don't even know what the fuck he says. I just know that I vaguely remember what he said, even though I haven't seen that episode in like 20 years. Yeah, he just says Coke. The problem is you don't call it that in Dutch at all. You call it a cola. It's just cola. But he keeps calling it a Coke. And I'm like, what the fuck is a Coke? Because if you think about it, Coke, if you don't know what it means in English, your first assumption is that it means to cook. Because it is koken. Ik kook. And therefore, I was like, what the fuck is this man talking about? I think he says, man, Dr. Pepper Coke or something like that. But it's to me, it was indecipherable what this man had actually ordered. And I was there with SpongeBob, like, what the fuck is this man talking about? What is his deal? Oh. Not the best way to start off a recording. It was just in my brain, okay? I wish there was a place. No, he doesn't even say drink. He just straight goes for Coke. And I really think he does say Dr. Pepper Coke. Which is not what Dr. Pepper is at all. Because it's Coke. Fuck, it cracks me up. I barely remember this, though. I have not seen it in forever. I don't even have a TV to watch it with. Provided that specific episode be on air. But, gosh dang. I do appreciate that they did go with that the Dutch SpongeBob actor did in fact go for singing the Krusty Krab pizza song, and at the end you can just tell that he cannot sing because it goes like for yo and my, and it's just terrible, and it's for the most part, Dutch VAs are capable of doing what needs to be done. They get the job done. You are not getting shit. And every time we went to France and we watched it, I was like, what the fuck are they saying? And why do they sound like they don't even want to be in the recording booth? Well, anyway, enough of that. I don't know why this is going like 2.5 minutes on the recording. I guess this is, you just have to live with this. At this point, you know what we're in for. Inco Noted has been interesting, and we'll get to that. Don't worry, we'll get back to that. Once nothing to something gets out of my life. Anyway, let's experience the light of tonal whiplash as we enter Chapter 17. To be or not to be. I said it before, and I'll say it again. It is always a bold, brash, and very arrogant move to copy influential sentences. I think the real problem is I don't know if, like, you could buy the SpongeBob games. I don't know if they were translated to Dutch, though. You could get the standard 5 around here, which is French, German, Spanish, Italian, English. But you never got Dutch. But you did get it dubbed in Dutch. So it's a really weird situation when we really get down to it. When you slice the cake a certain way. Personally, if I ever find a game and it has, like, Dutch dubs, I'm gonna go for it. I wanna know. The only part is, like, for a large part, you would generally know who it was. Like, you know, you could identify... Just like people can pick out Nolan North, you're always like, it's that guy. That is one downside. On the other hand, yeah, does add a certain personal local charm. The world had gone still yet again. Had gone still again. I had no idea what to say. Fang was listening in on Anon, as Anon basically performed copyright infringement. We do not condone copyright infringement here. I say loudly over the song someone else wrote. We do not condone this. I don't care if it's public use or not. Probably is, considering what Snoot game is, but... I had no idea what to say at first, and neither did Fang. So we were simply standing there as so many questions rang through my mind. Why had Fang been listening to me? How long had she been doing so? I'm also reading a different fic, which is like Anon and Fang know each other, and all I can say is it starts off really weird, because a lot of the initial conflict and friction is gone. And like Naomi, I want to read that fic because like the twist, the little hoopla they pull is fantastic. Also, and I think this is worth pointing out, in the Krusty Krab promotion instructional video, the guy does in fact do the I think that was the dubber. I don't know. I haven't seen. I would need to compare them. But they also have the guy who says hoopla, but it's not, he just says noise. I mean, admittedly, you can't translate it as hoopla, but it wasn't like a fun word that you don't commonly see used, which is a little bit of a shame they kind of got rid of the joke that way. Although, admittedly, someone screaming noise is, on its own level, fucking funny. I also got, like, a squeaky kid actor for it, which is great. Although, personally, I would have gone for Lanky Kong's hoopla. They should have hired him. He's a celebrity, you know? He might not have any style. This Kong just has no style. But he has one job he's good at. Anyway. Point is, Anon was listened in, and Fang is apparently being big sad. But remember, Anon is very popular. He's the sexiest man on campus. Like, everyone thinks, oh man, that Anon guy, oh shit, I'm just, I'm thinking about marrying him. I've already got the wedding ring and everything. You know, everyone just thinks he's the coolest, hottest shit around. He's a spec ops. His job, he saved the president of country unspecified. Anon, he might be, he's very sad. He's a very emotional, depressing, and relatable character. We've all saved the president and proved the honor of our cultures. And we are bad enough dudes. So we can all relate to Anon, saving the president's daughter from Spain and everything. It's an everyday occurrence in any person's life, really. Like, sure, I don't even live in America, but they were like, hey, you want to save one of the president's relatives? I'm like, happens every election. And Nungus opens half the I think you're underestimating how many guys are going to have their sexual awakening watching Anon strut by. He's got that smooth... I mean, if you have scales, having a smooth head is way less annoying. Because at least it doesn't fucking glisten. Put some baby powder up there. Or wear a hat. Yeah, you wouldn't need the cooling as much, huh? You would actually want to avoid the cooling, if anything. Because, like, hair on your head, like, you bleed the most heat in your extremities, like your head. So. And she was crying? Surely that couldn't have been because of my realization. Could have... No, wait. The realization hit me like a truck. It was impossible to comprehend at first. A surreal feeling that my guitar playing it actually brought Fang to tears. Why is Fang crying, though? It feels so weird to have Fang be like... I need a good reason for this, because Fang is basically crying because someone's playing the guitar, which feels so weird for the character. But after connecting the dots together, the evidence was irrefutable. You mean... And she could just say, I stubbed my toe, and like, you'll look like Watson, my good sir. The evidence was irrefutable. Is it though? The evidence is convincing at best. I'm sorry, Anon. I'm standing next to him in the doorway with a little Watson hat on and everything. I don't know, Sherlock. You're making some big assumptions here, buddy. Especially considering that instead of receiving a phone, she'd stayed outside the door. I mean, that just proves that she was interested in listening in. I mean, admittedly, from Fang's perspective, the idea that someone cool would care... Remember that Trish is, like, really hyping up this idea of becoming rich and famous. So Fang might be like, oh, man, someone cool cares about us? Oh, that's so neat. That might be part of it. I could see that. Listening to me play my... You stole that song, probably, and if you didn't, I'm not going to read it anyway. You can't convince me. Which reminded me... Listen, I just think that if you're a non-audio-based medium, write poetry and turn it into a song by proxy. Don't write an actual song, because songs take shortcuts. You want to know a dirty secret? Songs take shortcuts to work better as songs, because they have musical instrumentation backing, and they have to worry far more about they got more to worry about. Different priorities, different situations. You can't just quote a song. Also, it's tacky. Now, admittedly, if you do it at the end, it's a little less tacky, but anyway. You can still... I mean, admittedly, I've never played an instrument and played a song that I really like. I'm not that kind of person. My tastes are shit. Which reminded me as I managed to gulp down raising a phone. That is an awkward sentence. That feels like an interruption, not like something that should be connected to the rest of the sentence like that. You left your... I would recommend just making that an R at the end and then doing the interruption. Fang spotted the device. Eyes... Okay, so by the way... This is not an interruption. This is you trailing off, which is an ellipses. Fang spotted the device, amber eyes widening before snatching it out of my claws, inspecting it for any damages. You mean for any damage? Or potential breaches? Yet, surprisingly, she didn't roll on that too long, shooting past me to open the door wide as I stepped aside. Fang frantically looking inside of the class. Took a moment to realize that she was confirming her disbelief. Having found no one else who could have been playing, as she slowly turned to me with that same wide-eyed stare for, now you have pretty good evidence. I would have preferred that you said it now. Like, you're a little bit, and then she does that, and you're like, oh, it's about me. I don't know. It gives Adam a degree of humility, Because he is shitting on himself nigh constantly. So give him that humility. Give him a little slap on the ass and tell him to go suck it up for a second. I had to say something, unable to keep the stutter from my voice to answer her question from before. Yeah, that was me playing. Never had I seen Fang so conflicted before at that reveal. Range... I mean, this is the first time you've revealed that, so admittedly, yeah, you haven't. A range of emotion flashing across her features. Like, this alone is good enough. I've never seen Fang so conflicted before. Why did you include this? Why did you include a qualifier that doesn't make any sense? I always like it when authors, instead of not write, like, they use the wrong words, or they write too much. That's always impressive. I mean, admittedly, it's because people like hearing themselves talk. You know, like an actor who's on stage, everyone's like, just get to the end of the fucking sentence already. A range of emotions flashing across the features: shock, surprise, anger, and pain. I wonder, we've had this a bunch of times where people are going through a lot, and that, I don't know, it's like they did it in the game a couple of times, but I don't know, man. Lighten up. Sometimes emotions are just that simple. Or they don't even show. Like, someone has the emotions, you just can't tell. Good luck, Anon. But pain over what? I could perfectly tell what she was thinking at first, that not only had I beat her in popularity, but by her own perception, guitar playing as well. I mean, I would give Anon shit, but considering that Fang is not that kind of guitarist, she plays the bass, probably learned how to play piano as well. Anon is probably the better dedicated player. Despite the limited practice we've seen him do, he would logistically be better than Fang. Also because Fang helped break a lot of the ice, so I could see this make sense. Her claws began grasping at her own arm, sharp ditches digging into her own scales, ready to turn tail and leave. But I couldn't let her carry on like this. Fang... My call made her stop, peering at me with a fierce and judgmental look, as if daring me to say something. Yet never did I think I could have seen her look so fragile. A quiver of her snout threatening to break it as her arm drew across her own face, ridding it of the smudged teardrop. Just one teardrop, before reaffirming her facade. I mean, Facade was a cool character in Mother 3D, I think. He turned into a trombone. Can't do that every day. Olivia did say in that boss fight, Anna was better than you. What boss fight? But after being so long denied a chance to speak with Fang, I made use of the moment to say the 5 most important words from me to her. You're an amazing guitarist. Her look dramatically changed. Eyes blinking and snout straightened. What the hell is her nose doing? Is it crinkling? Gotta get it checked out, buddy. That's supposed to be a bone. As if she had misheard for a moment. What? Pausing, I stepped forward. You're pausing, but also moving? That's weird. Repeating what I said. You're amazing at the guitar, Fang. I'm glad he did not use a contraction for this, because then I could argue. And you don't want that. Is a contraction one word or two? The fight between Fong and Aulovia. I shook my head. It sucks that others can't seem to recognize that. Fang seemed taken aback, wings open as if startled with a sad start. Man, Fang is just, on the emotional high notes, huh? Just loudly emoting all over the place. This must have been the first time someone had ever told her that. Has Fang never, has Trish never said that? Or Reed? Or her own parents? Or Nasser? I feel weird that Trish never would point that out. Because, like, Trish says that the bass thing is a gimmick. So Trish should have naturally, at some point, at least admitted that Fang is good at the guitar. You know, to some extent. Like, it just, it would make Trish look even worse, which, admittedly, I'm all for. But it's odd when you consider the grander context of things. I'm just saying, Luigi. Potato, potato. That must have been the first time someone had ever told her that. You mean it? I nodded. Same as I meant it on Monday. I awkwardly scratched the back of my neck. Which, you kinda didn't believe me then, but, I did. I meant every word of what I said. Fang took a moment, leaning against the lockers. She then swore loudly, turning to kick the metal door with a loud clang. Fuck! I like how you describe everything she does and then she says it. I don't know. Listen, if you want to give this moment some more punch, she then swore loudly, and then you insert the fuck, and then you go to the rest of it. I don't know, it gives the sentence a bit more flow. Like, you're allowed to have quotes just show up in the middle of sentences like that for effect, you know? You don't have to draw color within the lines, buddy. You don't have to erase all your sketch marks when you're doing the full render. Her yell almost made me jump as I flinched. That's what the jump is, Anon! That is flinching! You don't do both! Come on! This whole fucking time, I thought that... Fang then paused, still frothing with gritted teeth as she turned to me. I didn't think that. She paused again, before letting out a sigh of exasperation. She adjusted her voice to make it sound significantly less. Wow! Don't call her whiny, asshole! Just what the hell is your deal, then? My deal? I asked, throwing my eyeball up into the air to raise it. Yeah. Fang snorted, reassuring her confidence by resting her claws on her hips. How the hell did you even know my brother in the first place? Hasn't he told you? And why is everyone suddenly kissing your ass? What the hell do you even want from me? Well, you know, I cheated at dodgeball. I was on a lot of drugs, like Jet. It's not going to be invented for a while, and I think it uses literal cow shit, but we'll figure that out as we go along. I tilted my head, trying to absorb all the questions. It's 3 questions, man. It's not even 20 questions. I guess 4, technically, by context. Don't know if I call it ass-kissing, but I realized something and blurted it out. Wait, Trish never told you what I told her? Never told you what I told her? No, she didn't. Oh, god damn it, Trish. Why did you trust Trish on this, Anon? You're from Ending 1. Why did you trust her on this? I could excuse an ass for not telling us about Fang, seeing as the two were hardly on speaking terms, but Trish? Triceratops wasn't just keeping Fang in the dark, but actively trying to steer perception in one direction. Listen, you're not a boy band, fuck off. Trying to take control of Fang's life. I always felt that her control was kind of a consequence more than a goal, though. I'm pretty sure that in classic Fallout, there's this smart, whiny guy who's like, oh, I made it out of poop. I made the jet out of poop. Hold on, let's look it up. Fallout Wiki, don't be mean. Oh no, I'm thinking of the upgraded version. No, the drug is derived from the fumes of Brahim, aka cow, excrement. Caused by contaminated pre-war... Oh, they got shit in their intestines. I thought maybe I was thinking like the good stuff. The good jet for the good boy. But I'm thinking of Ultrajet. With space or without, it is up to you. The song is distractingly smooth, though. Goes down like malt liquor. I really didn't like the thought of that, resisting the urge to let out a heavy sigh as I shook my head. Decided to answer the first of her questions. Long story short, Olivia and I met NASA during Meteor Ball of 7th grade, when she and I were still attending Mesozoic Private. I explained for what felt like the 3rd time now. I mean, it's a new school, Anon. If he isn't gonna do it, you gotta. So we knew him before moving in from Volcaldera Bluffs. For that long? Why hasn't he ever told me about you two before? I raised... Oh shit, he's raising a brow? So he does know the right way to do it. Jesus. What? Thinking back to my thoughts just... I'm thinking of my thoughts. Fuck off! You're recalling memories at that point. Buddy, have you ever asked or talked to Nasser about a Seven Mystical Private? Fang's gaze turned downward. No, but, it's none of your business. Right. As for my sudden popularity, it was from a dodgeball game back on Tuesday. You know, the best people for dodgeball are boxers. They're also very good at street brawls. And that's not a transferable skill. You know, I'm probably also very good at baseball. You know, I'm a top athlete at boxing. I'm pretty sure I could win at wrestling. Well, I think I could win at a good old-fashioned game of NASCAR or golf. I'm a boxer, you know. And I'm pretty sure you're just high on something. Hell yeah, I am. Dodgeball? Fang asked as I noticed a subtle twitch in her eye. Yeah, it gets kind of started from Fang telling everyone about it after class, but... It seemed like Fang really didn't care about the rest as she turned to one of the lockers and... Well, seriously? Fucking dodgeball? That's why everyone in this shithole. She then kicked it with her boot, hard enough to send a loud metal ting ring through the hallway. Respects! A few 10 seconds rolled around. She breathed heavily. I stayed quiet. That's not... She seethed, muttering under her breath. Fair. If I punch the ball back and hit someone, am I out or are we both out? I'm not baseball enough for that, buddy. I've never boxed, so I don't know the rules of baseball. I'm sorry to tell you. I slowly leaned against one of the lockers. Again, the reason I don't like all this stuff is like it doesn't matter that he's pausing. He doesn't do anything with it other than timing. I leaned against my back against the locker, head still turned to Fang as she stared forward. That's not necessarily that specific. You don't have to be that specific either. If life suddenly got fair, it definitely wouldn't start at Volcano High. Slowly I saw it. A small smile on Fang's snoot. Whatever spirit she had in her, that had been down, found amusement in my words. True. Couldn't help but smile as she looked at me, seemingly realizing that she herself was smiling before reverting to her frown. Leaning against the lockers with me and crossing her arms, feathery wings pressed up against me. That gives me the chills. She then repeated the first question of me, albeit less angry and more genuine. More curious. So what do you want from me? Took me some time to figure out the answer. Hold on. Took me a while to get an answer. There was a lot that I wanted, rather unfairly, from her, and quite a lot of it required explanations I wasn't ready to give. It was understanding and empathy, but forgiveness. It just made me feel guilty. Was I really doing this just for her, or for myself? So many thoughts that I couldn't think up of a proper answer at first, only able to let out a quiet sigh, slowly sitting down against the ground, my arm resting over my knee as my other leg rested against the floor. I don't know. Admittedly, the visualization of Anon being exhausted from having to hide stuff, unintentional, but definitely fits. Because I'm not giving you credit, author, until you do it right. My way. I am your god now. Wahaha! Or something, I don't fucking know. If you pay me $50, maybe I'll put in some actual effort. What the hell? What the fuck? Oh, God. Oh man, this is a good time to get sent a couple of links from your boys down by the club. I need to share this with some people because it makes me just fucking laugh. Let's move on. So many thoughts that I couldn't think of a proper answer at first. Only would let it go. Why am I tired? I've been sleeping so well of late. I don't know. Fang seemed intrigued by my answer. Much to my surprise, I found her sitting down on the ground beside me. Our backs against the lockers. Let me timidly try to think for a moment. It's just so much that, it comes back to me. All the way back to 7th grade at Mrs. Private. Hearing Mr. Ripley and Samantha explaining Fang's absence on Nasser. At least I knew one thing that I missed in my past life with an ironic sense. Maybe I just want to get to know you. After all, I heard about you at Meteor Bowl. Your parents and Nasser brought it up. I admit I was more referring to my past life than the current one. Fang quiet as I took another moment. Or maybe thought back to last night and the words Olivia said to me. Oh yeah, the screaming match they had. Anon is better than you. That might be the one. Fang must have been feeling something similar to what I felt back then. Maybe I heard you play something amazing. I just want to see the world. And I just see the world trying to take that away from you. Fang took a moment, staring ahead. Two of us now staring at the lockers on the opposite side. It took a while before I found the nerve to ask a question that I've been tugging at the back of my head ever since I got the chance to talk to Fang. Something I need to reaffirm for myself. But I gotta ask, and don't answer if you don't want to, but were you crying before? I could see her eyes tilt downward, lips tightening as she looked for the words. She then looked at me with wide eyes. Trish? Oh, it took me a second to realize that wasn't a confession, but a sudden realization as my eyes widened as well, turning with Fang's gaze to see the Triceratops approaching with 3 o'clock. My look of concern turning to one of scowling anger upon spotting her look of concern. Fang quickly stood up, but I followed along. Trish was upon me, jabbing an accusatory finger on my chest. What the hell were you doing to them? Nothing. I was just... What? Just what? Anna didn't do anything to me, Trish. Fang crossed her arms, a slight tone of annoyance and irritation out of us. What are you, my dad or some shit? Whatever aggression Trish held towards me seemed to evaporate. More shocked at Fang's half-hearted defense of me than anything else. Fang gulped heavily, opening her maw. Oh, we have maws now instead of snouts. I was so worried that you didn't come back after you said you were going to pick up your phone. At least text me next time. Fang looked away, frown frozen on her face. Right. Sorry. Pterodactyl walked past Trish without another word. Although Trish gave me a look, that made it pretty clear this wasn't over, joining Fang on the way out. Seemingly trying to engross her with a new brand or business idea. Stood there to watch them leave, and, well, I got places to be. I turned around to the opposite end. Before I could turn the corner, I turned around one last time. I popped, turned, twisted, and bopped it. To my surprise, Fang had done the same at her end. Trish around the corner, still rambling on, unknowing that Fang had stopped. We lock eyes, and I smile. Is it a special smile, Anon, or are you just looking? Buddy! This is one of those moments where characters have really vivid descriptions because the moment is so emotional and deep and it means something. And because it means a lot and it's a significant moment in the story, you put a lot of words into it. But no! A second passed and I saw her moat something. But man, I have telescopic ears, not eyes. But look conflicted, as if unsure what to return back to me. A moment later, of course, Fang continued on with Trish, spinning around the corner as I had places to be. I'm just glad I got a chance to talk to Fang. I knew I'd get another chance at some point. It's many days to a year, buddy. I moved down the hallway, finally arriving at the school entrance. A few students that were left already... Don't phrase it like that. A few students that were left already leaving through the open doors as I noticed Olivia at the top of the outside staircase. She was going to talking with Nasa. Wheelchair and back turned to me. The devilish idea to surprise Olivia grew in my head. It's on her till side, you suicidal clown. My walk slowly turning tippy toes as I became one with the shadows. It's day. What shadows? You become one with the wind, my man. Except as it turned out, my skills in subterfuge were completely undone by anyone using their eyes. As I was soon spotted by Nasser, looking up from the conversation, his eyes blinking as he said something to Olivia. This in turn completely gave me away, and Olivia turned around in her chair, realizing I tried to sneak up to her. Whipped out a grabber like a ranger with a big iron on her. I mean, like, and I don't think you've earned that, but somewhat more importantly is the grabber was like a one-off gag. It was never really something she used or needed in a meaningful capacity. I always thought she like bought it on like a let's have a little gag, because Olivia doesn't seem like the kind of person who wants to have like an accessibility aid like a grabber. You know, I feel like she just go, no, I'm fine. Because she doesn't want to be defined by that. Stealth Archer doesn't work here. That's a fair argument to make. Oh, this funny bundle. Completely forgot about this. The fucking tennis game. Huh. Fucking love Beats the Artbreaker. That was a weird one. What a strange game this man made. Anyway, I'm distracted. Let's reboot. Let's just take a minute and sit rest. Why am I so tired? Normally I get more awake as the day goes on, you know, and my brain boots up and everything else. Na 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 na, huh? Ho 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 ho. Man, that hard cut. That hard cut. I think this song is just the thing that's making me fall asleep. I think we need a new song. We need a different song. Something that fucking rouses me from my slumber. Two of those are the two weirdos. That one always perks me up a little bit. I flinched. The grab was secured against my nostrils as I collapsed to a kneel. Okay, sorry. Begged him. Okay, sorry. I begged him in my now nasal tone. How? That's really awkward, though. I imagine that's not great, but whatever. Because a human nose is pliable, but, like, snouts are not like that at all. Dog noses ain't like that, buddy. I mean, kind of, but that's because of how dogs work. They have special, weird noses designed for airflow. In this winter arc, may I offer you a Monster Energy TM Ultra Zero in these Olivia mercifully relinquishing her grabber. Now it's my grabber, because you've relinquished it. Shooting a fake glare at Nasser. I can't believe you gave me away like that, bro. He crossed his arms, trying not to chuckle as he shook his head. Sorry, Anna. I wasn't gonna let you sneak up on Olivia. Thanks for that. By the way, what took you so long? I shrugged. Just, wasn't trying to explain what had happened just now. Deciding to settle on a much simpler truth. Just practicing some guitar in music class. Might have gotten a bit carried away. So what were you two talking about us just now? Homework and other things, Olivia answered. Nasa seemed to realize something. Speaking of which. He checked his phone, his eyes widened. Oh, I should start heading back. I need to study. See you Sunday, Anon. Yep, I'll send you our address to come pick us up. Nasa nodded with a smile before turning back to Olivia. And Olivia? He awkwardly rubbed the side of his neck. You're such an InGen. Isn't gonna be anything dangerous, is it? Olivia shook her head. I don't think so. They're just gonna do some head scans. They're gonna see if my brain makes sense. Alright. Nasa said with a slow nod, this time with more confidence. Alright. I can't wait to show you around Coca del Bluffs on Sunday. The smile grew in Olivia's snout as well. And I can't wait to see it. An intercourse with Nasa's sister. What? You can't just say that. That's crimes. What's this? Cat. Cat. People are posting cats. Cute little kitties doing silly little things. Anyway. Nasa not again, stooped down, reaching his hands out, probably hoping for an awkward goodbye hug. What? Yet it was one... Oh. So he's going for a hug and he used a contradiction? casually reciprocated, engaging her brakes before reaching her arms out to accept him. Nasa slightly leaning into her. Two of them embracing. Yeah, that's the action you've just described, I guess. It was a heartwarming sight, one I couldn't help but smile about. Everybody's smiling! Before noticing it go on much longer than I had thought it would. The party seemed to be in a hurry to separate. Olivia having closed her eyes, letting out a sigh, leaning the side of her short green hand to his neck. All the while, Nasa's good wings seemed to instinctively do that protective, possessive gesture I've seen her do many times before, draping over her, albeit this time with the back of her wheelchair and spanning over the baryonyx like a roof. Though I hadn't gotten any full admittance from Olivia yet, it was pretty obvious the two had feelings for each other, reenacted after being separated for so long. A little later, I figured that out, buddy. And after going well into a minute, I could sense that Nasser seemed to finally realize it was running late, slightly stirring in their grasps. Olivia? It took her a moment to respond, because she paused. She was pausing! Yeah, you should really get going now, can you? Her reaction was instantaneous. Silver yellow eyes widening as she unwrapped her arms around him and fell back into a chair. Yet due to the speed at which she suddenly did so, it left Nasser without any support whatsoever, his arms flailing about in a good wing trying to steady him, before the inevitable happened, the pterodactyl falling forward a surprise gap. The end of Nasser's— They already kissed! Yabingus! It was a whole fucking thing. I thought I would feel like I was watching a scene in a romantic novel, because this happened in Super Mario RPG! In a sense. Olivia blushed. Nasser was doing something similar. I mean, they already had a kiss. Like, you can't do the kiss twice. Unless there's, like, a big moment. And, like, it really doesn't feel like they're making up for anything. It's like they're just being weird about it. And then he leaves. Olivia? She didn't respond as I briefly looked around, holding a claw out of her eyes. Drawing my scaly palm up and down. Hello, Earth to Olivia. Yeah. I smiled, trying to keep the shit-eatingness out of my grin. Like, why don't you just say, trying to keep the shit-eatingness out of my grin? That's good enough. That's all you need. Like, you could reduce the amount of snout saturation just by writing a bit different. Probably should save that expression for when you and I start dating again. Were they dating, though? I think they were just kind of hanging out, not really fully realizing it. Not cognizant. In all honesty, I expected to grab her there and then, but to my surprise, I was found that I was still standing. Yet noticing a new expression on Olivia's face, she peered down. Looked like guilt? Olivia? Is everything okay? She looked away, brakes coming off, and the wheelchair turned around, giving a clear indication she wanted me to hop on back so we could go home. I mean, I personally would love it if you misinterpret it and you jump on and you fucking fall over like a gormless fool. But no, the writer doesn't want to have characters have conflict where they might not. The perfect setup for, like, a breach between the characters. No. We live in Disneyland. It's not good writing, because Disneyland doesn't care about the writing. Pop, pop. Pop, pop. Saturday arrived. Saturday. Oh no, it doesn't have the same charm to it. Although it was finally the weekend, the busyness of the wiki days hadn't seemed to end. Continuing on with bringing Olivia to her first trial at InGen. Dr. Wu had already had everything set up, the rooms booked and the equipment ready. Why would he tell you anything about that? Wouldn't he just go, yeah, come to this room at this time? There was still a long process as Mom and Dad and I sat in the hallway. An air of anxiousness, despite the lack of any danger Olivia was in. My parents occasionally exchanging passing but quiet conversation. After a few more tense moments, I'm impressed that it took a few fucking moments for this to happen. The door finally opened to reveal Olivia in a patient gown, rolling herself forward as Dr. Wu walked beside her. The Troubadour announced good news. The scan went without any issues. I mean, I'd be surprised if something went wrong. Honestly, I'd probably be fucking surprised if something went wrong. I mean, sure, we've scanned some people and they turned into zombies, but that was because we had the brain scanner set to brain soul-sucking mode. I don't know why we have that mode, I just think it's funny. Three of us stood up as I picked Olivia's backpack off the floor, stuffed with her clothes, before heading over alongside my parents. How are you holding up, Olivia? Fine, Uncle Ed. Oh, I'd rather get out of wearing this as soon as possible. That was pretty much... No, you're talking about C-U-E, not the line. Handing her her backpack as Olivia gracefully snatched it. Olivia got it aloud before rolling away, and I was guiding her where the changing rooms were. With that out of the way, I turned to see my parents conversing with Dr. Wu. And my man, I assure you that... Hold on. As I was told, right? The way this works is like when these scans happen, right? The scans are made by a radiologist. They're made by someone whose job is, I take pictures of your brain all day. Called a radiologist, I think. Or a tech. But not a doctor. They're not a doctor per se. They're a guy who makes funny pictures and maybe they analyze them. I don't know how that exactly works. Dr. Wu should not be doing this if he's the physician. Okay? I don't think Dr. Wu should be the one doing this if this is like a proper health institution. Because he is more like the general, the guy who organizes everything, gets the experts together, probably administers some of the therapy. But not the guy who takes the fucking pictures and analyzes them. In addition, most of the time, unless you're dealing with, like, bone x-rays, they're going to be looking at those pictures for a while going, double-checking, making sure. You don't check pictures in, like, the hour it takes to make them, is the problem I have. Unless, they got that fancy AI, I guess. And it's good to see the patterns we see overlap with many other scans we have in our database, with the added bonus of being much clearer now since we got new equipment. I mostly got that equipment by beating the shit out of the guy who said we weren't going to get it. Don't ask me how I did it. I assure you, I took a lot of drugs. Combat drugs are a hell of a drug, kids. He looked at me and I wasn't sure if he was trying to sell me or something. That's good to hear. So what comes next for Olivia? For now, Dr. Wu held up a tablet and then lowered it again. We're going to have to do more scans in the coming weeks and some short tests to see what may potentially stimulate those deactivated nerves. I turned them off using this light switch, but it doesn't turn them back on again. I'm sorry to tell you, buddy. They pay us by hours and not patients. Personally, I would have preferred to take a couple more hours with Olivia. I get paid by the hour, We just sit there, talk about the weather, Why are you making it sound so ominous? I don't know. I just don't feel comfortable if people think I'm doing a good job. The doctor nodded in understanding. Sounds good, doctor. But I also wanted to know about... I turned to see Olivia exiting the changing room, back in her usual clothes, as I began walking towards her, leaving my parents and the doctor continued a conversation, not out of earshot to talk with baryonics. So, what'd they have you do? Well, they put me through an MRI scanner and all that. That takes like an hour or something. That's pretty long. Not much different than what we did when I was first, diagnosed. They also put me in this weird helmet with like wires coming out of the top. Kind of gives me an idea. Was it another way to scan your head? I think so. They also wanted me to do stuff like trying to move my legs. Obviously didn't work, but they seemed satisfied after a few seconds. Hopefully Dr. Wu learned something from it. I agreed and gave her a smile. Unless I gotta meet up with NASA tomorrow. You think anyway you want them to take us? Not yet. Hey, what's been eating at you? That obvious, huh? It's just, doing a lot of thinking lately. Yeah, about homework? It's not the easiest homework, but come on, Olivia, don't be such a coward. Yeah? About what? About Nasser. About me. I'm not sure if, I'm not right or anything. Maybe, Nasser still might have feelings for me. I recall the hurried confession he had dropped on me during PE. A promise was a promise. Choosing not to disclose what he had disclosed to me. Yeah, how'd you figure? What was that? My phone buzzing. Oh yeah. Just, hold on. Just dismiss. It's just gonna bother me again. Get out of here. Bada boom, bada bing. Says Dr. Professor Patrick. Just the way he's been acting around me. Differently from the way he treats others. But the same as if we were together, minus the kissing. Not counting after school yesterday. But the thing is,
I still have feelings for him.
Well, then what's the fucking problem? I have feelings and he have feelings, but we dated before, but it's so hard. It's like, come on, man. At this point, you're just making things needlessly complicated. I love him and he loves me and we have engagement rings and we're going to get married soon, but I don't know if I can tell him I love him.
They also implanted this purple egg thing. And when I ask what it was, the doc says it's an egg donated by a Lord Sadler donor? I don't know what it is, but I feel like there's another thing in me. Also, I don't know why, but I'm fluent in Spanish.
And then she says something. No, that's not Spanish, that's Portuguese. Sadler always makes that mistake. Well, at least you can go to Brazil.
I don't want to go to Brazil.
Well, they don't speak Spanish. They don't speak Portuguese in Mexico.
Or Spain. Just can't help it. After all these years, he's still the same kind, gentle, and lovable pterodactyl I knew from 7th grade.
So what's the plan?
The plan? Well, I guess this Sunday I'll just tell him that.
I quietly listened, imagining Nasser react when the time came.
I told Nasser that things won't work out between us.
Hold on. Hold on. Did we just actually pull a fucking heel turn? Hell yeah, bitch! Hold the phone. Shit. God damn it. Just get me out of here. I need a bad song.
What?
What? Took me a moment to realize what Olivia had just said. My brain registering her words and still in disbelief as my eyes widened, mouth wide open. I finally understood that look of guilt she'd been having, or unable to meet my eyes after wheelchair had planned. Olivia, are you... Hey, the two of us turned to see our parents. You two want to get going? We're gonna stop before some pizza at Dino Mo.
Yeah, that's
That's good. Olivia simply responded, both of us putting on our best fronts, nodding at the... Jesus, why are you interrupting this? Nothing happens. We just need money and one more job. Neither of us anything, so blotting our heads, keep the facade. No, but why? Olivia's like, yeah, shit works out, but is she that upset about her injury? Aren't you literally working on it? Shouldn't we be a little more optimistic, babe, lady? Despite having a belly full of pizza, nothing could quell the unease in my stomach. I quietly walked behind Olivia, rolling herself to her room before opening a door, turning around to see that I was still standing there. You walked! You are not standing! You're not breeding standing! She knew that I wanted to talk. A wish granted by her with a heavy sigh, she laughed. Why? Why did you interrupt this conversation then? I know that it's not realistic for them to have this fucking heartfelt confession in a fucking walkway, but you could start the confession at home, or you can have it there. It doesn't fucking matter. It's a story you wrote. You're allowed to be weird with it. Why did you build this fucking... Like, if you upload this as separate chapters, okay, fine. It's a bit of a cop-out, but fine. But it's not. It's one big upload. There is no suspense. There's just... What? Like, it works in the moment, but then you're like, oh, okay? There's no page turn.
I don't understand. You said you love Nasser. I do.
Then why? Why break both of your hearts like this?
Because I'm not good enough for him.
Words felt like an icicle pricked through my scales. Unbelieving what I just heard from her. From my own sister. And worst of all, it sounded like something I would have thought before I made that promise. Fuck you! You haven't kept that promise at all! I heard the Anon who wanted to be a nobody, who wanted to be a nothing from which I am something. You can't do a title drop twice, Anon, especially not when it's forced as that. Jesus, man. Ooh, that force broke my limb, so forced it is. You're not... Why would you think that?
Come on, Anon, are you seriously asking that? Look at me.
She gestured down at her legs and the wheelchair and everything.
I'm in a wheelchair.
So?
So, you really think the way I am now I can be with Nasser? He's a track star. He runs for a living. Don't you see the poetic irony? Kind of. I can't date him. Narratively speaking, I'll lose my arms or something next. Or he will. I'll be the arms and he'll be the legs, and that's just how it goes.
Yeah, you can be with him.
You're just not getting it.
Then help me get it, Olivia! I know these past 2 years have been damn tough for you, but you haven't done so well for yourself. Yet hearing you now, I don't think you've ever beaten yourself down like this. What changed?
I realize Nasa deserves the best after everything he's been through.
Then why doesn't Nasa deserve the kind, insightful, and reserved? Reserved is not a compliment, Anon, in this context. He met and fell in love with in 7th grade.
Well, just simple. You can't assume what he needs. Anon, he needs dick. And I'm a girl. You need to satisfy him for me.
What?
I'm sorry, Anon. But you need to learn about a genre of porn that no man ever wants to be part of. The gay love triangle.
Ah, sizzle Fritz. Ah, shucks. But that's what you've been doing this entire time, Olivia. None of this makes any sense. There was a moment of pause between us. Silence. She was the one who broke it.
Get out.
Olivia, I'm in the hallway. I can't get out. Oh no, she did go into the room. I skipped that part. I mean, it would be funnier if they were in the fucking hallway and she said, get out of the house. Yes. It would be funny, but it also doesn't fit. I never said it did. I was taken aback. Not once in my entire life had Olivia told me to leave her room. Not even when she was getting nude, and I was being very awkward about it. Hell, she didn't tell me to leave when she needed to get sterile so she could perform an autopsy on herself. I don't get that girl sometimes. This is what's gonna make her do it? Seeing her scowling and scrutinizing gaze put me in that place of shock and dread. The place of knowing that someone you loved currently hated your guts at the moment. Again. Bleh! I sat up from the bed, moving past her and toward the door, just thinking, how? How had it come to this? And it was after Olivia spoke again that I gained some clarity. She was still looking at her bed, trying to assure me or herself.
It's the best choice. For Nasser, and for me.
I stood, staring at a closed door, thinking of my past life and the amount of times I thought I was making the best choice, despite taking the worst course of action. The amount of times I thought like some mouth breather, I thought, oh yeah, I did my best, and watching everything go to shit until it truly bit me in the ass. That's a lot of butt metaphors, buddy. Butty. My claws dug into the middle class of the sliding door.
Anon, stop damaging my door, fuck! Dad's gonna kill you! Sometimes the best is just not good enough.
I opened the door and left the room without... Yes! Ending one, Anon. Leave her alone in her despair. Now is the time. Don't fight her emotions or support her. Fuck off! Learn nothing. I opened the door and left Olivia's room without another word, leaving me standing idly in the hallway. And for once, I was completely and utterly lost on what to do. I just couldn't understand why. There was already so much tragedy in her life, so much pain and loss. Why was she adding more to it? Well, you know, some people think they don't deserve it, and so they deny themselves nice things and attract bad things, and then they justify future decisions on that process having already happened. For a moment, I felt the urge to return back in, argue that what she said was wrong, that Nasa and her could be together, that she deserved to be happy, but for once, I didn't feel like I was up to the task. Neither did I think it was a good idea to try again. I mean, admittedly, I kind of like the idea that he's realized that, oh, actually doing this is kind of hard. Now I could properly relate to what Nasa went through with Fang. Oh, hell! Now there's an interesting plot line I haven't even considered. Parallels. Parallelograms. I like them. I love them. In a daze, I found myself back in the living room, Mom standing on her tippy toes as she struggled to reach one of the top shelves. With Dad missing in action, probably busy in the garage. And if you're really such a cool guy, wouldn't you help your mom instead of having her ask you? Jesus! Show some initiative! You're 30! Ugh. I'm an adult good boy, but I'm gonna wait for my mom to ask me for help first. Runs off on Olivia, doesn't take care. He's really out of it. This man is gonna fail. This is how you get ending 1 in on. I'm just here to remind you. Quietly, I walked up to the bookshelf, easily reaching a claw up to grab the album. However, a few pages flapped open, revealing a very convenient photo from so long ago. Olivia and me in Dino Land when we were still in kindergarten. I remember as if it was yesterday. How happy of a goober I was. Mainly because I never really had a chance to have a child in my past life. Olivia, though the guy looked freaked out, probably because of the encroaching mascot off screen. Her eyes wide, arms clutching mine in fear, gaze focused away from the lens. That picture must be about 12 years old now. I looked up to see Mom with a gentle smile. Taking the album from my claws to hold it, turned the page to reveal more pictures of our brief visit to vacation at Dino Land. One being the 4 of us on a roller coaster, taking it from an on-ride camera. Everyone seemed thrilled, while I put up the most stony impasse face I could, having done so after noticing the camera at the peak of the ride. You remember how we laughed when we saw the screen at the end? Yeah! There we were, leaving the park. Dad carrying a sleeping Olivia against his shoulder, with me walking alongside them. I couldn't help but overhear some arguing coming from Olivia's room. How did you know it was Olivia's room? Why don't you just say upstairs? Is everything okay? Olivia's thinking about dropping it. No, Olivia's thinking about breaking up with Nasser. Is more what she's doing, because there's an implicit relationship. Even though she loves him. Says it's for the best since she can't walk, and I just don't understand how she can think like that. Mom seemed unaffected or unsurprised, and said, I honestly believe mascot designed to it on purpose. It's a marketing technique. Is that so? Give me that other album and let's take a seat. Oh God, we're just doing. Hold on. We're gonna fast forward through this because I don't like where this is going. Oh no, she's doing a fucking. Let's talk about let's do some apsioms, I guess. Now, what do I call it? Eopsis? Aciops. One of those things. Remember fighting an owl on the ground. Quickly grew up. Didn't want to at first. Sometimes you gotta let go. Wasn't ready to keep. What the fuck are you talking about? Why aren't you telling this to Olivia? And assuring her that what she's doing is the right decision. Like, supporting Olivia as being like, okay, listen, if you really feel that way, like, if you genuinely feel that way, then you should make that decision. Why are we telling this to Elle? Because Anon's the protagonist and we can't switch POVs, even though Olivia's the... Jesus. Father never had any pictures, but he does have one from the Pangea invasion. Here it is. And war paint, wearing the jacket I currently wore in Dark Aviators. But I suppose there was a bunch of characters. We got Alex Mason. Fucking Alex Mason! Yeah, this really isn't about letting go. Anon isn't letting go, is the problem. We got Brocodile. His name is actually Brock Samson. How the fuck do you get a name like Brock Samson with 2 Ks? Imagine if you had a K for a last name. That'd be terrible. Everyone would mock him for that one. Why are there sensor bars on their eyes? I like how he didn't point that... Oh. I like how this wasn't pointed out beforehand. Your father added those bars for national security. Edward can be so dramatic sometimes as he talks about the nuclear armament codes. Personally, I think of Alec Mason from Red Faction when I hear that name. You know, for Red Faction, Gorilla. There was a fucking movie about Red Faction? Huh. Wah. I like how in the middle of this character moment we just start establishing stuff. After the war, working as he always asked for decaf. Smooth moves, Dad. No, that's what a stalker does. Although, admittedly, if he was actually there for the decaf, that's cute. But if he wasn't there for the decaf, that's just kind of creepy. Sorry to tell you, buddy, but this situation is hard to salvage. I guess that's why he says smooth moves, because Anon might have learned a lot about life, but he probably hasn't learned a lot about actually dating people, considering he's dated once and it was a fucking mess. He's quite talkative, curious, blah blah. Romantic getaway. Please, Mom, don't tell me about the sex you had to have me. He said things couldn't work out between us. Aww, his gerb. Where's Reznov? He said yes, and I left without a word. I suppose it was for the time. Decaf all over his clean suit. I mean, if she's trying to teach that, you know, if sometimes you gotta say no to yourself to realize that yes is the answer you want. You know, the old trick of, like, make a decision and if you hate it, you know you wanted the other choice. You know, that kind of stuff. But I don't know why you need this entire story for that. That being said, it is a cute character moment. I don't know why it took this long to have some fucking stuff for their parents to do, but hey, you got something. There you go. Oh no, they were having the adult hugs. I like how your mother is this bad with this, that she's like, oh shit, I should have mentioned that. The reason I'm telling you this, Anon, is always wear rubber. Really? All that to tell me to use a condom? Yeah, I think it's important. I can't say for certain why Olivia thinks the best is to let Lasser go. Perhaps with so much loss in life, she feels a bit way to avoid more of it. Yeah, that's fair enough. I still don't know why you're not talking to Olivia about this. I mean, you're explaining this to Anon, who's like an adult, in a way that feels kind of childish, if anything. I don't know, it's a really weird thing. It really feels like she should have a conversation with Olivia first, and then come to Anon with the conclusions. Instead of just making brash assumptions about all this. But it's not bad. I've seen worse. The problem is, the stuff is kind of leaning towards the whole soulmate thing, which I know is a trope in this stuff, but it's a trope I hate. Give me some chemistry. Give me a sense that these characters would be together because, well, they're great, you know? You're not gonna find a better one. Not soulmates, but like, And here's your dad of a job in Cuba during the Bay of Pigs invasion in Castro's compound. If you squeeze enough, you can see him in the background. Oh, wow, there he is. Man, those are some really small sensor bars. Yeah. He always said he loved those the most. He said the big ones are a bit tacky. How can there be more than meant to be? Meant to be is like a god says it's gotta happen, buddy. I don't know if you can make anything more than that. You know, not only God said it should happen, but even Satan was like high-fiving God and Jesus going, yeah, this is gotta be, buddies. Or as a certain obvious captain said, love with your heart, but do all the other thinking with your brain mass. Anon thinks too much. I mean, like, the thing is, maybe it's just wasn't meant to be, you know? They love each other, but Olivia's beginning to realize there's cracks in the relationship outside of that. Like, she can't stand how he is about her disability, or she just realizes she doesn't really love people all that much, and it's starting to weaken, like the honeymoon's over. You know, like, there's a lot you can do with this, really. But, you know, stories like these never go, but the characters don't love each other. Which, by the way, is why, I don't know if it's going to be the final draft, but the Olivia exchange student thing strongly implies that Olivia is at least interested in Liz, and at the end it's like, nah, not going to happen, buddy. It's just not practical. It just wouldn't work. Perhaps I was... Are you triggered, Snowflake? Olivia was too much like me, but then it gave me hope. I mean, everyone's different. Everyone's fighting their own battles, Anon. Shouldn't you be remembering that every second of the day? Is that one of great-grandpa's advice? No, I just read that from... Do you know what a meme is? Wouldn't they call it a meme? Why would someone look at meme and go, it's meme? Why would the E at the end be an A? Also, just for context, his parents should know what a meme is, considering Anon exists. Also considering the time they're in. I don't know. The fact they've avoided this is just very impressive, really. After a ton of trying to find where to begin explaining. A meme is just a running gag. That's how you explain it. It's a running gag on the internet. That's it. You're done. That's all they need to know. But it's shared between strangers. That's it. You're done. I don't know why you gotta complicate it. Your mom knows what a fucking running gag is. She watches TV. Hell, those things existed back then. It's just that internet memes didn't exist, because the internet didn't exist. But memes, conceptually, have always existed in the way that we conceive of them now. They've just looked a little different. They felt a little different. But they were there. They still existed. Just like the academic term meme. Yeah, you're talking about the academic sense of memes, which are about, like, personal beliefs that are held very tightly. Memetic warfare is a dangerous thing to engage with, because it is extremely effective if you do it right. You also never have to shoot anyone, because they'll just agree with you. Olivia was painting. Oh shit, we're gonna have a chit chat. Oh shit, we're ending the chapter here. Oh no, we're not doing that. Okay. He goes, oh man, no matter what decision you make, I'll be at your side. I like how you needed to be told to do that. What a weird chapter. Had potential, fucking squandered it. Of course, all the comments are, man, this is the best shit ever. Born to be just losers. I mean, you were the B squad, man. There's a lot of fan art below this one. Although, they're very weird. What the fuck is that? I guess they're like the side characters given form. Oh yeah, I get it. That was you playing? Oh, that's where that comes from! The Olivia and them shouting. I'll turn their shins into was-were. Lunch is $149.99. Free food. I mean, that's a good one. Man, the whole... Wait, is this... Oh, this is a double notes section. Oh, I guess you can only put this in the body, then. Well, we got Tracy coming back, I guess. We'll see what it turns into next time, because it sounds like things are taking a downturn. But I know this story doesn't it's because everything's always happy, so... Well, that was a wash. On the plus side, it was a short wash. So on the plus side, I didn't waste a lot of my time, and I got the rest of my evening to myself. But man, what a hot dumpling. Let's see, how long is the next one if I erase all the stuff I don't care about, aka all the blank spaces? It's manageable. We could probably do that next stream in just one fell swoop. Alright, well, we'll do that next time. I'm not that interested. Like I said, it sets stuff up, but at this point, the problem is, like, if you're... it ended on, like, a negative cliffhanger, right? Because now it's like Anon's okay with whatever happens, so I don't give a shit. Because I don't really care about this couple. They're cute. And the whole thing is set up in such a way that they're going to come back together. It's like, okay, then what are you really doing? What are you cliffhangering? What is the cliffhanger? Because you already laid it out. Anon doesn't care. So, like, from the protagonist, I'm just saying, it's a bit weak of an ending. Well, I do think that one thing is clear is that when this guy writes less and he keeps his chapters concise and a bit more focused, on the plus side, I don't get as mad. It's not as agitating to deal with, you know. I want to say something funny, like, but I don't know if I got anything funny to say. And as my dad always used to say, if you got nothing to say, don't say it. Because there's nothing. Hmm. Hmm. Well, like I said, next time we'll do more. I kind of want to just do more Inco Noted, because it is the fun one. It is the one where I actually give a shit and stuff happens. Yeah, I would like if it goes anywhere, you know, if something happens. But otherwise, hey, I got the rest of my evening to myself. I said I was going to do this chapter, and I'm tired, so it's not really worth the extra effort today, right now. Today, tomorrow, Toyota, as they say. So I'm just gonna do what I want. I'm gonna read some fics that I'm actually interested in reading. Like what was it called again? Where's the fic? What is it called again? Show me the fucking. Come on. Show me the full title. Show me the full title. Why is it such a problem? Why are you like this? Why you should be so difficult about this? Promise of a lifetime. I'm not making a lot of progress, but hmm. What the hell? Oh my god. Ancient advertisements. This won't happen. I was about to divorce you, Clementine, because you couldn't make a decent tea. But this wonderful brew makes me love you all over again. Oh, lucky day, I changed to Lipton tea, and has given me back my husband. But this will. Don Goody, have you changed brands? Yes, I thought I'd try Lipton. Oh shit, when Lipton was a tea. Back in 1942, the idea of making a bad cup of tea may have been grounds for a divorce. And then they got like a little puzzle where they put like symbols or something. U-C-I-T, grown in hot sun valleys, ripen too fast. Oh. Oh no, they're being silly about it. It's like the verbs after the thing. Oh, you silly. So they taste flat. But Lipton uses teas grown in cooler slopes. Teas that are ripened slow and they get rich, full flavor. The special flavors make Lipton America's largest selling tea. And then they just make iced tea. I love that someone turned it into like a whole emoji thing. Someone out there used time travel to go back in time, make this tea advertising extremely tedious to read as a joke. No one could get it over 50 years. Oh boy, I sure love hearing about that stuff. Doesn't make me angry at all. Well, I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed. No, I'm not gonna go to bed. Might go. Man, I actually might. Seems comfortable though. Kind of curl up and relax, you know, cool. And shooting some b-ball outside of the school, and a couple of guys who were up to no good started making trouble in my neighborhood. And then Anon resolved all problems, and the story was over, I guess. And at that point, we just kind of sat around, I guess, and waited for the chapter to end. So that next chapter, a new problem could emerge, which Anon would naturally solve before the chapter was over. And then my mom got scared. too tired to end the stream. I'm too tired to end the stream. I need to gather my strength. What the hell? Our culture is decaying because we don't value Steve Urkel. How specific? Oh. Oh my god, this conversation goes place. But I need the strength to end the stream. Can I find it? In my heart, in my soul, in my... Oh, there's one in my back pocket. Cool.